So what did you think about Gayle King and Katy Perry
Yeah.
and Jeff Bezos' fiance going up into space a couple of days ago?
I see they're getting a lot of backlash, right? Because oh, it was a 10-minute flight. A lot of people were like 10-minute ride, and Gail was like, no, it wasn't a ride. Um, I I I would love to do that. I think it was phenomenal. To
Oh,
yes, if someone would ask, if Gail had called me and
yeah.
said, would you like to do this ride? Yes, absolutely.
Really?
Wouldn't you want
Really?
to see what
So
is a
you
space?
and I always talk about fear, and we said we're going to do an episode on fear because
Yes.
you and I have very little fear. That I'm not. I'm not going. No,
Why? Can
I
you?
would be terrified. Just like I think Gayle King was terrified. Well, you know why I'd be terrified? You know, who are the people that went down to the ocean to see the Titanic and it blew up?
That's true. I do
That's what
remember
I'm thinking. I
that.
will get on a plane. I will get on a bus. I will.
Because
I'm not going to space.
you're afraid of a malfunction because they actually are shooting you off. And I think that you split from the capsule, right? And it kind of just landed out in this field, right? Like the capsule actually split from them, right?
That's what
Um,
it normally does.
yes,
I
yeah,
don't
I
think
didn't know that until they
I
did
don't think I'm
this.
scared of just a malfunction. I think I'm actually scared of going to space.
You don't want to see what's there?
No,
You know,
no.
your creative thinking, your like I want to give adventurous mind. I want to give this a
Yeah. Like I'm
you've gone places.
adventurous.
Have you lived in the wilderness? I saw where you lived in Puerto
It was the
Rico.
jungle. It was
I
the
would
jungle.
not do that.
But it's solid ground. I don't know. I don't know. I don't I have no desire to go to the firmament or space. I'm still trying to figure out what to do here on Earth.
I love them for
Yeah,
doing that.
you would have
What
went.
I don't like is all the backlash, all the negative comments. I don't like that in terms of all the resources they spent for 10 minutes.
Mm.
Oh, you can feed, the hungry. Oh, you could do you could have put it to charity. Are you, are all these criticism? Do we have any of these on Donald Trump, Elon Musk? What is Elon
Yes.
Musk doing with
They,
his money? You know what I mean?
they do. People do
Come
have
on.
those criticisms.
Oh, you said
So,
when
but do you think the criticism do you think it's sexism or misogyny?
because it was all
Hmm.
women that did this. All women. Let have been all friends, men friends. Do you think we would have had that much?
Well, and it did. There was one with all men. It
Out.
was Jeff Bezos and the who's the guy that was on Star Trek. So they already did. I don't know if
Is
this
this
was
what
Jeff.
they're trying to compare to the Al Shepard?
What's that?
That's Al Shepard went up in
Yeah,
space,
but what was
and
the one before where Jeff Bezos went up? And I do think it was all men. Yeah, and
oh,
you're right. I didn't hear this criticism. I myself, I have my own feelings about it, and
what are your
I'm
feelings?
part of that group that has a lot of critique of it. It was a PR stunt. I don't even really believe they went to space myself. But this is Jeff
You believe
Bezos.
they just got shot up in the air and went so far and said it? Wow, well, we went to space.
Well, and actually, I've read they didn't actually go into space. They just kind of crossed the line and came back. That they were only actually in that atmosphere for a couple of minutes, and it was like I don't know,
I
millions
would
of
stay
dollars.
longer. Oh, I would. Yeah.
This is my thing. It is so. This is one of Jeff Bezos' companies that has been around since 2000, which I didn't even know. Right? I mean, why would I? But I don't think most people knew. This was a commercial. This was a PR stunt to get people to be space tourists, not people, the 1%, very rich people who want to say they went to space, the same as whatever that little contraption was that went down to the Titanic, right?
Mm-hmm.
My thing is, in the time that we're living in, people are allowed to do whatever they want with their money. But when people criticize you and say, read the room, we are having, the Department of Education may be cut, Social Security may be cut. We're in a recession.
What are they going to do about that?
They're doing a lot about it because Jeff Bezos is one of Trump's cronies, right? So instead of trying to make the world and this country better, they are fragrantly flaunting their wealth. And I think a lot of people are like, our government, our way of being is crumbling, and you guys are going off into space.
So they can't do something. That's like saying, Kim, something that you've always wanted to do, risky and costly, that because of where we are in our economy, you shouldn't be allowed to do it. You have the money to do it. It's yours. You earned it. Gayle earned her money. Gayle earned her status, earned her money. She can do what she wants to do with it because what she contributes out of hers is not going to change the game for what Donald Trump is doing.
Totally. But I don't know the logistics, but the notoriety that these people had, they weren't just people that were like, oh, let me try this. I guarantee you Gayle King did not pay for her spot, or Katy Perry or Jeff Bezos' fiance or the other three women. I guarantee you that they did not have to pay a dime. This was a PR stunt. This was a big commercial to tell very rich people what they can do. And on a political side, to me and to millions of other people, this screams of colonization. They're like, oh, and people have actually said this out loud. This is a way for rich people to be able to escape planet Earth when shit hits the fan. And shit is hitting the fan. It's colonization. It's manifest destiny. I'm rich enough to leave this earth. I don't care about climate warming. I don't care about homelessness. I don't care about babies dying. I don't care about what's going on in Palestine and Ukraine. I got enough money. I'm out of here. You know what? It also screams
10 minutes,
of like,
Kim, 10 minutes.
Exactly. How many millions of dollars for 10 minutes? Some people say 11. And only two of those in space. Make it make sense.
Okay. What is the problem? What did you want them to do? What would you prefer them to do?
No, that's not, once again, like you said, like people can spend their money how they want, but when people criticize you for being tone deaf, the Marie Antoinette quote, let them eat cake. Right. So she was speaking, to peasants who were poor, starving and hungry. She's up in the castle in her finery and her silk blouse and her jewels, eating the best of the best and saying, let them eat cake because they don't have cake. This screams of the same thing. Oh my God, I can't believe you're criticizing us. Bitch, I don't have retirement funds. I have billions of dollars of student loans. My family needs a back surgery or heart surgery, but I don't have health insurance to cover that. I can't buy a house because the interest rates. I don't have a job because they've all been shipped overseas.
Yeah, what do you want them to do? Not go?
Well, let's talk about this a little deeper. Once again, this is Jeff Bezos, right? Who is a billionaire, right? A billionaire no billionaire has made their money ethically. And I think I can strongly stand on that. You can't amass that amount of riches without harming the people that work for you. Right. Yeah. So Jeff Bezos also, we saw him standing behind Donald Trump at the inauguration, which means he's like, oh yeah, this person is going to be good for my wealth. So when we ask, well, what should he be doing different? If he was an ethical human being, maybe all of that money would be put into cancer research that this administration is cutting funds for. Maybe that money could be put into making his workers at Amazon be paid more, be able to have unions, be able to go to the bathroom. Do you know that Amazon workers have 2 minutes to go to the bathroom. And if the bathroom is on the other side of the factory floor, Amazon workers are peeing into water bottles so they don't lose their job.
Oh, wow.
So this isn't just about.
But can't he do that and do something exciting from a fun standpoint as well, or PR?
Sure. Let me see what fun. Let me see the good stuff he's doing. And once again, you made your money, however you made your money, whether that's okay. I've talked about how he's made his money. My thing is when they use, and I think Gayle King has been used as a pawn because she didn't want to go on that flight. Have you seen the videos of? Did you see the videos of her before the space flight?
Because your face would look the same. You would too. Look.
Yeah, but why would she go if she was terrified?
Listen, say it's me. I just said to you, call me, I will do it. But I would look even worse than she. If I am getting ready to walk and that bell, I probably wouldn't even got the bell. I thought it was really good that they were able to ring the bell. I'd have missed the little hook thing. I'd have probably took the whole bell down because I was so nervous. And my face, I would have been just like, oh my God. But I would want to do it. I would want to do it.
That's the thing. You have such an excitement. Like I can hear it in your voice. I can see it. Gayle King no one saw that excitement. No one saw her being nervous. She's like, what the fuck? What do I have to do? You cannot tell me that she was forced to go. I mean, not forced like at gunpoint.
Oprah didn't go. She said, hey. She asked
exactly.
Oprah was like, nah, I'll see you when you get on the ground.
So once again, why would Gayle King go?
Because that tells me she wanted to go.
That tells me
she could have been right there standing beside Oprah and just watching this event happen.
Exactly. But this is the thing, like they are definitely using Gayle King as a mouthpiece to counteract all the criticism. Like Gayle King is the one that you hear the most saying very, very tone deaf things about this mission when people are bringing up to me very valid criticism. Instead of saying, yes, that's your critique, she's like being very defensive about it. And my thing is, why? Once again, this was a commercial.
This
wasn't some big achievement. This was a commercial. This was this was PR.
Because she know why she went. It's like how you're so passionate and you will get offended. You know how your movement is about women and particularly Black women, right? And you are going down in the trenches defending, and you have your, same with Gayle. She has a reason why she did it. And
what was the reason?
So she's going to be offended. You want to have her on the show so we can ask her?
No, I'm saying, what was Gayle King's reason for going to space?
I don't know. I'm saying she
has her. She has never said, I am so passionate about space travel. And I've always wanted to do this. She's like, I'm telling you, if you listeners go back before and look at the videos of her before.
I did. Yeah.
Her face was always like, what the fuck am I doing? That does not look like a woman that's excited.
I also watched her say how much it meant to her to have that experience. And that would have been myself.
What is she going to say? I don't want to do this. My boss is making me do this. Of course she has to be
like. You don't think she would have been transparent if, it was something really?
Oh, girl, money and power. Money and power rules this world. When someone with money and power tells you to do something, you do it.
I'm saying you are not going to
if your boss,
the lining of space, as you say.
If your boss said
you're not going to do it if you did not want to do it, if you were not passionate about taking this trip, you're not going to do what you don't want to do. Lose
all of your money, all of your jobs, all of your clout, you would do it. No. People do way less. If your boss said, if you don't do this, then you're fired. And you can never, ever get another job in this industry with this fame and this money again. I would be like, okay, I'm going to space. No, I'm going to space. Let's go.
Would you go to space then? You said I would not do it. Would you go there?
Well, no, because I'm not beholden to anyone. I'm not I'm not on the
Say that you are. You were.
Is she on the Today Show?
Yes.
I'm not
Yes.
a major anchor on the Today Show with Oprah as my best friend.
CBS, yeah.
CBS, yeah. Now let's say that I was. You said let's say
yeah.
It depends on how much money I had saved up. Probably not.
Whatever.
Like,
You're like, I'm going to space. I'm going
like Today's Show. If you're listening, I would love to be the host. And I am also well educated and a critical enough thinker to know that that's a job just like a job at McDonald's. You don't do what the boss says, you don't have a job.
I don't think that premise, she's going to be fine from the job. I don't think that this event was in no fashion or form centered around her job. I think maybe it was a PR stunt. And to what the comment you meant, to a PR stunt for to get people to want to travel.
Not people. The 1%.
No, I'm saying people, I want to go.
It's $150,000 deposit, which means I don't know how much the ticket is. Not many Americans that I know have $150,000 deposit to go to space for a couple of minutes. We trying to feed our kids. We trying to send them to college. We trying to buy houses.
Okay, it should make it more affordable, because I think it's a great opportunity.
Why would he make it more affordable? He's not going to make any money if it's more affordable. That's like, it's like telling Lamborghini they should make their cars more affordable so the regular people can drive one.
Honey, I wish they would, because I told Nori that's what I wanted, is a Lamborghini.
But that's the
with
point
the butterfly
of it.
Doors.
But the point of Lamborghini is to be so exclusive that not everyone can drive it. The point of Jeff Bezos in this Shepherd, whatever it's called, going into space, is it's very, very exclusive. Not everyone can do it. He's not going to make it more affordable.
I mean, but what are some of the reasons that you move through life and work so hard? I mean, you think of the grind to get to a certain place in your life. Why can't you have such a benefit as that?
Well, let's back up.
You're only here once.
But let's back up. When we talk about working hard in the grind, typically billionaires, let's take a Jeff Bezos, that story about the grind is not our story of the grind. A lot of it is manufactured. We don't know that most of these billionaires have started out with an immense amount of money. Even if they did work hard to make more money, most of us don't have that luxury of having a parent or an investor give us millions of dollars to start our company. If someone gave me millions of dollars to start a company where I could hire workers to do 90% of the things that I needed done, I too would be a multimillionaire billionaire. Kind of like the United States having the #1 GDP in the world. It's because they have free labor that look like you and me. If I had millions of people working for me for free, or if I had, that was back then, or if I have millions of people working for me for now, barely scraping by because the salaries that would let them lead a sustainable life, not even a rich life, but just enough to pay rent and buy a car and feed, then I would give you credit. But a lot of these billionaires are really paying almost slave wages to these people. Like $17 an hour is not going to be able to afford a 2-bedroom apartment and a car.
No, it's no good now. No, it used to be good back in the day.
Right.
It's not moving with the time. Wages not moving with the time.
And so that is my critique. Like, be rich all you want, have all the fun you want. But in my head, I'm like, all that fun you're having was on the backs of millions of people who are just trying to feed their family. I can't get a lot of joy in that.
Yeah, but let's not, okay, and because you're saying Jeff Bezos, but Gayle is not Jeff Bezos. So do we want to steal the glory from Gayle? Do we want to steal glory from
Gayle is not Jeff Bezos. This is why this is what I'm putting together, that Gayle is a worker, no matter how many millions of dollars she has, no matter how much she's been on TV, she's a worker just like you and me. She has a boss. Somebody said, Gayle, get your ass up in space. And Gayle was like, I don't want to go to space. They said, you want to keep your job? Gayle said, yeah, I want to keep my job. And they said, nigga, go to space. This is the conversation I think is what happened. Just like when you and I have a boss and they tell us to do something we don't want to do, we do it anyway. They're like, go to this conference in Iowa in the middle of winter. I don't really want to go to that conference. Bitch, you want to keep your job? Okay, let me put on my coat. I'm going to Iowa. Space is Gayle's Iowa.
Oh my God.
In the middle of winter. Gayle has a boss just like the 99% of us.
But Gayle also has moved through her career where she can say, hell no, I ain't going taking my ass to space.
She could, and then we wouldn't see her on TV again. We would never hear from her again.
She's Oprah's best friend. I think we'll see her again. She's Tyler Perry's friend. I think we don't have a problem seeing her again. She's got the right friendships.
You don't think
you and I don't have those guys?
Do you think that Tyler Perry and Oprah have the same amount of clout as some of the power? I'll just use white men as a substitute for the systems of power in the United States. Do you think Tyler Perry and Oprah have the same amount of power as some of these white men that have had power for generations?
No, but what I'm saying is
generations.
I know what but what I'm saying is I don't see Gayle keeping a job based on you have to do this or this is not going to be where you're going to. I don't.
I think most of the people that we see on TV keep a job based on they don't. We have to talk about power and who holds the power. Who holds the power are not the people that we see. It's the people behind the scenes.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's take like a basketball team. We see, I don't know much about basketball. We see the starting lineup. We see the LeBron James, the Michael Jordans, the Kobe's, I don't know any of the new people. We see the people dunking the ball.
Steph Curry. Yeah.
Steph Curry, right? We see the people doing the work. We don't see the owners. Who owns the LA Lakers? Who owns the Chicago Bulls? Who owns the Golden State Warriors? I don't. I'm sure basketball people might know who the owners are.
Yeah,
but the owners don't have jerseys with their names on the back. The owners have the stadiums. Would you rather have your name on the back of a jersey and be on TV once a week or every day? Or would you rather own a fucking stadium?
Stadium for 500.
That's power. That's power.
Good point.
Gayle does not have that kind of power. I don't think very many Black people in this country do.
Oh gosh, no. Yeah, no, I agree with that. I just can't see Gayle.
So when Gayle's bosses that have the metaphorical, they own the stadium, Gayle's a basketball player. She's shooting hoops. She ain't got no say. When the basketball owner says, we're going to play this team and we're going to go from LA to New York, the LeBron James says, okay, we're going to New York to play this game. Gayle says, I'm going to space to play this game. It's all a game. I'm mad at her. Make your money, Gayle. Just don't come back when people start criticizing you and saying that this was such a big deal when it fucking wasn't. We have people dying.
I guess I'm looking at, I would not do that. I don't really care what I'm being paid at a job. I'm not going to space if that's something I am afraid to go. I just don't move like that. I don't really care.
That's you. But what if someone said, hey, Gilia, I will give you your dream if you do this, but you ain't getting your dream job if you don't do this. Let's say like this show that we have, what if they're like, we are going to give you like the number one podcast in the country, which someone can do. And if you're listening, I'll go to space to have the number one podcast. Someone could call us tomorrow and said, I will give you the number one podcast in the country if you do, X. And as long as it doesn't involve me hurting anyone, or I have to, sleep with someone I don't want to sleep with, I'll be like, sure, I'll go to space. I'll go to Iowa in the middle of winter for the conference.
I'm not gonna, if I want to go to space, so this is hard for me to use.
Yeah. Well, let's say it's in space, go to the bottom of the ocean.
Okay, no, sorry, because water is just, that's why I haven't ever been on a cruise. Water is just not the thing I like to just get.
That's how I feel about space. I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good.
You can say that. I'll be like, you know what? I'll keep on in the grind trying to do this podcast.
But what if someone was like,
I'm sorry if I ruined it for both of us.
but what if they're like, we will make you a multimillionaire overnight. You'll have the number one podcast. Oh, let's throw in a TV talk show like Jennifer Hudson.
No,
we just to advertise this for us.
Yeah, the multimillionaire thing doesn't get me because I'm moving in that direction myself to be a self-made multimillionaire.
But let's say someone says in 5 minutes you'll have 100 million in your account if you say yes.
To go underwater. No, because I'm not going to get to spend it. What is it for Norris? For Rob? You? Michelle? Because that's who I'd be like, dang.
No, it's just like you'll be fine, just like her going to space. 10 minutes, you'll be fine. You'll come back fine.
No, because I don't no. No. A space, I feel like I don't know, something I would love to do. But going underwater in that tank.
But do you see, that's why she looked terrified in every single picture. She looked terrified in every single picture before the flight. She did not look like she wanted to be there.
I love the bell when she have the face with the bell. I was just like, oh God, I kept going back to that one.
She did not want to do that. You can't tell me that. When I talk to you, you're excited about going to space. Oh my God, I would love to go to space. Do you think Gayle King had that same?
I don't want to go for 10 minutes either. I want to go.
But did it look like she had the enthusiasm that you had? Like Katy Perry looked tight.
No, because I don't know. You're talking to me now, right? But talk to me again when I'm getting ready to get on the thing. I'm not going to be like this because I'm scared.
No, but we were talking days before. Gayle looked terrified. Terrified.
I'd like to hear more.
I'd like to hear more. She did not want to go. There was never once that I saw her that she looked excited. Like, yes, I might be nervous, starting some new venture, but I'm going to be excited about it and it's going to show in my face. It did not show in poor Gayle's face. She was like, what the fuck? And I'm calling it now. Watch her come out with something big before the year is over. Like her own talk show, like something bigger than she's doing now. Watch.
I'm gonna watch. I am gonna
watch. What's today? April 19th?
Yes.
Y'all, we're gonna rewind this when she comes out as the CEO of some company, or she has her own. I think she's already had a show, but she's gonna have her own show, and it's gonna be bigger.
I'm gonna watch.
And like I said, I'm not mad at her. We all have a boss. We all, especially in media and entertainment, they have bosses. They're not independent contractors.
Like they said, they're deemed to be astronauts now.
Well, they're not.
And they got their own
astronauts. They got their own scientists.
And they got their own suits.
They're tourists. They're tourists. Just because I get on a boat doesn't mean that I'm a captain, a ship captain.
That was probably the only thing that I was just like, well, not the only thing, but one of the things I was like, okay, no, they're not astronauts. And
I think the verbiage around that, once again, is marketing, very good marketing and PR
I don't want
because
people to think you could go up.
someone rich out there is like, I want to be an astronaut. You know, that's,
yeah, no,
that's people's dreams as when they were kids to be an astronaut, right?
yeah, no.
That's why they weren't getting off like, oh, we're space tourists. No one, when they were kids, like, I want to be a space tourist. They're like, I want to be an astronaut. Very, like, it's.
Look at that. Kids, because they did that, younger kids could be like, oh, wow, I've never thought about it. But now that I've seen that, I'd be interested in being an astronaut.
We already have female astronauts. He didn't need to do that. We already have astronauts. We already have female. There was a literal female astronaut that was stuck in space for 9 months that didn't get the publicity that Jeff Bezos' company and his phallic penis rocket is.
Well, and the fact that it did come after this happened.
People that have PhDs, people that are scientists, I read they had 2 days of training. I was like, days? Two days of training? When people have been studying this since they were 18 years old, like decades of training, they didn't get to go. I saw this interview with an astrophysicist, a woman astrophysicist, and she was like you, so excited. I think she was interviewing Gayle or one of them. So excited. And someone said, oh, have you been to space? And she's like, no, I haven't. I really wish I could go to space. And then you got Katy Perry and her. I got problems with Katy Perry too. Katy Perry going to space, and you have this woman who is in this male-dominated field as an astrophysicist who doesn't get to go to space. When I tell you life is not fair.
I didn't appreciate the comments where the one commenter said they should have left Katy Perry up there. That was so rude. I was like, now come on, folks. Is it jealousy? Because you couldn't do it now. You want to come and say all these horrible comments? Stop.
I don't know if anyone is that's telling Katy Perry she should be in space is jealous of.
That is what is Katy Perry
you know, maybe some of it is jealousy, but I think for the most part, you know how you hear people say read the room. Like, this is not what America is getting excited over about now. Like, if America was in a very good place where people had jobs, people had clean water, people had human rights, people weren't worried that, you know, they could vote, people weren't worried that their loved ones would be kidnapped off the streets and sent to a death camp. If America was in a good place and we weren't worried about all that this might have been a cool thing. They did not read the room. People, number one, don't care about the rich right now. They don't care about celebrities. They definitely don't care about celebrities in space. This is a different time where a friend of mine sent me an article, and it's called like the comfort class, right? And it's about the very, very rich, like the 1%, having no idea what the 99% is going through. People are scared to be deported. People are scared that their kids are going to get shot up in schools. People are scared that the water they're drinking has cancer in it. People are terrified that we are going to have a dictator and we won't have democracy anymore.
And we're going to go back to drinking out of black only and white only fountains. Katy
Perry and Gayle King in space is really nobody cares about it in the way that I think Jeff Bezos and the astronaut crew thought people would care. You know, like, they're so defensive about, oh, you shouldn't talk about it like that. You know, we did a good thing. There are literal children in.
Well, I don't know that I would look at it as we did a good thing.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah, I don't know that I would look at it like that. I would look at you did something exciting that maybe those who, you know, have an interest, and like myself.
Here's what she said. I'm very disappointed and very saddened by it. The CBS host continued. And I also say this, to inspire other women and young girls. Please don't ignore that. Especially during now with Project 2025, that women and young girls are having our rights taken away.
Mm-hmm.
Them going up in a 10-minute, 11-minute space crew isn't inspiring people the same way that a Jasmine Crockett is inspiring people. Isn't inspiring people the same way that Kamala Harris inspired people. Isn't inspiring people the same way that Michelle Obama. Like, these are women that are fighting for our very existence.
That is so powerful what you just said.
Yeah. And, you know, whatever.
That is so powerful. Yeah.
I'm just saying this was a commercial. This was a commercial. Just like I watch a Mountain Dew or a Taco Bell commercial and I'm like, maybe I should go get some Mountain Dew. This was a commercial for rich people.
And you know what? And I get all of your points. I get
nobody
all
cares.
And I agree with your points, right? I just don't want to take away from the excitement of something that they want to do. Now, if you're, I don't, all I can go on is it's something that Gayle wanted to do. You're saying, did you see her face? Right. Yeah. So I mean,
you are absolutely right, cousin. I don't want to take away from the excitement of what someone wants to do in their life, but this was not the excitement of these women going up into space, what they wanted to do. This was the excitement of a multi-billionaire who has built his money off of the backs and the strain and the blood of minimum wage workers doing what he wants to do to make more money. This was a commercial. This wasn't these women saying, we want to go to space. This was a commercial, just like a Taco Bell commercial or a McDonald's commercial.
So you think that it started where Jeff Bezos says, I got an idea that I think would be so cool.
Yep.
Katy, can you get a bunch? Who do you think would go with you?
Yep.
Would you go? And then who do you think will go with you?
Well,
let's try to put this together, because I think this would be such a cool.
They put feel. Well, first, I think
advertisement that this is going to do for me.
I think these people don't do anything without having a big team behind them. So it wasn't Jeff Bezos that came up with the idea. It was his people. They didn't reach out to Katy Perry directly. They probably had a list of people that they wanted to see who would get the most excitement, who would get the most, what's it called? Publicity.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, these weren't probably the only people they reached out to. They probably reached out to so many other women that were like, I ain't doing that. And then they came up with these people.
Didn't call me.
And then they called their managers or whoever they are. And then they had a list and they said, you're going to space, just like a job. This is a job.
They didn't call me. Nori and I would have been on that shot out little flight. Let's make sure I call it
Let
right.
me tell you, the women that they chose were very meticulously hand selected. There was no accident about who was on that ship and why they weren't all celebrities, because some people were, astrophysicists and women's rights activists. Like, they had to balance the celebrity with the content, so people wouldn't be like, oh, it's Hollywood. And think we don't even know the other women's names.
I know. I saw the interview with the young Black lady, and I cannot think of her name. That seemed very excited.
And when you look at, because she had studied this, but when you look at the headlines, it's always Lauren Sánchez, Jeff Bezos' fiance. Why is his fiance
Gayle King? Yeah.
Katy Perry. But why is the owner's fiance going up into space? You couldn't find anybody else but your girl, the person you sleep with?
I'm done. We're done. I can't with you. I cannot with you. We're out. Gayle, I support you.
Support Gayle too. I'm just saying, Gayle, you don't have to do this again if you don't want to. You don't have to do it again.
I say, if you do it again, call me, Gilia.
Well, call us, because we want a show on CBS.
You
I want the space. I want a show. I want this show on CBS.
I'm just gonna do the trip for you. Since you're
I want
scared.
us to reach the billions of people. She has the platform. I ain't going to space. I ain't going to space.
I told her to call me. I will go with her next time. You go hold this down, right? We still doing the show together, right?
I don't even actually think they went. I don't even actually think they went to space, but that's a show for another day.
Gayle, Katy
10 minutes.
Jeff Bezos, the other ladies I cannot name. Sorry. Would you let us know? Can you show pictures? Can you give some proof that you guys actually were there? Okay.
Have you heard of AI? Have you heard of AI?
Please.
You can make up anything now. Anything.
I'm gonna need you to give us more. I'm gonna need you to give us more. Okay. All right. That's a wrap. We're gonna be out.
Like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment. Do you think they actually went to space?
They went.
Bye.